And I know you had mentioned that some of these rooms, which the families, the history of them involve, as much of American history does, stories about enslaved individuals, stories about sort of the negative aspects of some of the personalities. I mean, how is that sort of woven into the story of fashion?
Yeah, I mean, one example, maybe it's best to talk about an example of that. There's one
Hmm.
room, called the Richmond Room, which, as you say, was owned by an individual, as many rooms were from Richmond and Virginia, wealthy landowners, by an enslaver, somebody who'd enslaved over 40 individuals. And in that particular room, in terms of the fashion story, we're focusing on someone called Fannie Criss Payne. He may not be very well known to the general audience, but Fannie Criss Payne was a leading. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I lost
Uh,
you there for a second.
Oh, sorry. So I think I was hearing something else. Yeah, so it's focusing on a designer called Fannie Criss Payne, who was a leading dressmaker in Richmond. So it's a regional story. She was working at the turn of the 20th century, and it contextualizes her work as a black dressmaker, building her business really in segregated Richmond. So it discusses the importance of this profession for American women, but it also explains how this was a period in which the transition of American fashion, moving towards the idea, the modern concept of a designer. So Annie Criss Payne was somebody who built her business within segregated Richmond and built a thriving business through dressmaking. And dressmaking was one of the few opportunities for women of color, but also women in general, to have more access to full citizenship within America.